What up guys? So today I got an oil pan gasket. We're gonna be doing an oil pan gasket in this bad boy. This is my boy Ron's car. So I'm getting ready to jack it up. All you need is about 2 jack stands.
Like you on a vacation, gotta get away, make it happen, whatever happens, just had to happen. I know you've been, got a reason, dancing like it's something to believe in, dancing like it's fucking dancing. You know to be playing, baby I am just saying, I'm wrong, you know I ain't got the whatever, yeah. You know I'm just here to make you feel better.
Alright, so now there's a skid plate underneath that you have to remove. There's about, I'm gonna say, to 10 to 15 little 10mm bolts that you have to remove. Take the skid plate out. After that, we'll drain the oil. Just cleaning up some oil leakage before I lay on this dirty ass ground. Well, I'm probably gonna lay something down first. So check this out, guys. There's actually zip ties. These looking bolts right here, like little plastic screws. There's 110 back here, both sides, and then a little bit more bolts, and then all up front. These are missing, obviously, so there's only zip tied. So we'll just take those off and remove the skid plate. Alright, so now that I got the plate off, pretty simple. We'll look under here, and you can see that it is actually leaking pretty bad. I don't know if you guys can see, but all the way around it, there's oil everywhere. It's pretty moist. But anyways, yeah, all the bolts are right here, the 10mm bolts all the way around. What people are scared of are the ones behind the subframe. They're back there. You can use a 1/4" ratchet with a swivel and a 10mm, and you can access it from the back panel back here. You just gotta drop it down. But as of now, let's get to draining it. Let me show you guys how I loosen the motor mount bolts. You have to take this intake tube off that goes right here. It has to come off. And there's a motor mount bolt right there. As you can see, it's pretty loose, hanging on by like 2 threads. And then there's one over here. And to access this one, you actually have to remove the oil pan, or sorry, not oil pan, oil filter. But it's literally right under the oil filter. It's right there. So that's loose too. Let's go back under. As you lift it, so much more room to get to the bolts. I already have one out. Still reach some of them from the back right here. So, like I said, I already have this one out. It is kind of tight to get to, you know, but you do have to jack the. So you can use an engine hoist. Unfortunately, I don't have an engine hoist, so I'm using what I got. So let's get this pan off, and I'll be right back to you. Alright guys, well, finally got all the bolts off. I'm gonna drop the pan. I need to find a flathead, and pretty much you stick it through the side pretty much, and pull it, pry it down. There's gonna be silicone around it, so We're gonna have to scrape that. Grab a flat head real quick. Pretty wide one would be ideal. Or now, as you can see, I removed all the bolts all the way around, even in the back. All of them were removed. So what you want to do now is stick the flathead in between here, all the way around, and pry it down. You're gonna have to pry it down. Try not to bend it too much, but have to break free the silicone that is up here. So try to be gentle. Alright, so as you can see, this is the easiest spot I found off where you could pry it and kind of use something to, you know, beat it towards it so it goes inside. But I have it in there now. As you can see, it is pretty loose. So I'm gonna take it back out and go towards the back, pry it down. Be careful because there may be oil still in there, so if it does drop, you don't want it to splash in your face or anything. So let's get this done. Alright, so now I got the oil pan off. We are gonna have to scrape all the old silicone off all the way around. Has to all come off as best as you can because the new silicone needs to stick. So it needs to be scraped off all the way around. So it's kind of a time process, but all of this needs to come off. It's all old crust. So now, scraping all this. All of this needs to come off. Alright, so a lot of silicone on the floor. A lot of it is scraped off, but a lot is still on there, so I am going to use a wire brush with a drill to get the rest of it off nice and smooth. Try to get as much silicone off before you get to that point where you need to use a wire brush. It'll just make your life a lot easier. But yeah, there's so now that I got all the silicone off all the way around, I'm gonna use some simple green to clean all this oil residue out front and back. I already hit it with a water hose, so it's semi-clean, so I just want to get all this grease off. Need to get all the grease off just so in the future you can tell where the leaks are coming from, if there are any leaks, or you know, but it shouldn't have any leaks because that's why we're doing the gasket. So yeah, let's get this cleaned up. Alright, so I just went out. I went to go buy a new one because the other one was just trashed. I'm just kidding. Anyways, it's clean. No grease at all. So now, to be honest, this only had silicone on it. I do have a gasket. I'm not sure if I want to use the gasket or use silicone. Or use silicone with the gasket. Leave your answer on what you would do in the comments. Would you use silicone? Would you use gasket? Or would you use both? I'm gonna use both. Why would you make a gasket and only use silicone? I don't know. I'm gonna use a gasket. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but drop a comment. Let me know what you would do. Alright, so now it's time to scrape this. I'm gonna use a razor and scrape all this off. So this is the gasket. TJZGE and GTE. This is probably the gas or part number right here, but yeah. Alright, so this is the gasket. Comes with a whole bunch of silicone. So if you do not have silicone, it is okay. It comes with silicone. So you need that. Make sure the gasket does fit onto your oil pan. Make sure it's the right one. Make sure it's the right way. It only goes one way, so that's how it sits. It lines up pretty good. It looks pretty good. Alright, got all the silicone on all the way around. Put the gasket on top. We're gonna put it in now. Alright, so when putting the pan back on, only put one side on. This one on this side. You don't want to tighten it as soon as you put it on. You want the silicone to actually dry just a little bit before you put all the bolts in. You can start threading the other ones in. Just don't tighten them all the way. Just snug the pan up to the gasket. You know, don't squish it. Alright guys, so all the bolts are on all the way around. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit longer before we add oil. I'm gonna put the skid plate back on, all the bolts back on, and get it off jack stand. Alright, so now that we got everything tightened up on the bottom, don't forget to tighten up your motor mounts. Do not forget those. So once again, one right there, and the other one. The other one's right there, right under the oil filter. Okay? So tighten those up, put your intake boot on, and we are going to add some oil. So yeah, got another happy customer. We did good. Hopefully you guys can accomplish the same thing, you know. And good luck to you. Now let's get this mess cleaned up. I'm glad you guys watched my video. Make sure you guys comment the bottom, like, and subscribe. Catch you guys next time.